Hey, it's great to be with you again today. As we go through our lives and we examine our faith, sometimes we need to take a step back and listen to the words of Jesus, right? We get caught up in running 100 miles an hour, and sometimes we need to just stop and listen to what Jesus said, right? And Jesus says that God is love, and he calls us to love God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love our neighbors as we love ourselves. And in 1 John today, I was reading 3:16 through 18. John says this: "This is how we know what love is. Jesus gave his life for us. That is true love. When somebody gives up everything for another person, that is a sign of love, of true love." And then John goes on to say this. He says, listen, if you see somebody out there, a brother or sister out there who is in need, and you have material possessions and money, and you don't have any pity on them, then we're lacking in love. Let that sink in for a second. There is a lot of need around us, isn't there? Some in our own communities, some in cities right next to us, or in our state, our country, and our world. There is a lot of need all around us. And Jesus, the last night at the Last Supper, he washed his disciples' feet. And when he was done, he said, listen, you see what I've done for you. Now I want you to go out and I want you to do the same for everybody. Serve them. Be servant leaders. Sacrifice your status, your position, your wealth, your materials, your whatever it is. Go out and love others. Love others like I love you. And you see, that is a challenge, isn't it? Because there are people in our lives that we just don't want to love. And those people, they might be different than us, right? They may have a different skin color than us. They may speak a different language than us. They may look different. They may live a different way. They may do things that we don't think are acceptable. But Jesus said, love your neighbor. And he went so far as to show the Jews that he was with that day that they are to love even those that they don't get along with, like the Samaritans. They didn't like each other at all. And yet Jesus called them to love Samaritans and Samaritans to love Jews. And now he calls us to do the same thing, to love those in our neighborhood, in our community, in our school district, in our job that don't look like us. Those in our country that are trying to come into our country to get away from the things that are keeping them in injustice. We're called to love. We're not called to condemn. We're not called to judge. We're not called to hate. Jesus calls us to love, just as he loves us. May God continue to pour out his grace, mercy, and blessings on each and every one of us until we get to meet again. Amen. Amen.